Welcome to another Hire Me series. Now we have Sabrina Barber. She is a Senior Manager Clinical Customer Success of Videa. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us for our little series here. I'm so excited.
Me too, Maria. Thank you so much for having me. I am very, very excited to talk about this topic because it's the foundation of how we've met and built our relationship.
Yeah, so for everyone out there that doesn't know, so when I started my quest of working with AI dental companies once I think I was still in school, but I was trying to wrap up with school and I was trying to pivot from being a dental hygienist in clinic to working with a dental AI company. And Videa was one of those companies that I was just like in love with. And I'm sure you saw my enthusiasm.
I did, absolutely did.
So Sabrina was one of the people that interviewed me, and I don't remember exactly what the process was, and maybe you can touch on that as well. But tell me about your background, tell me about you, tell me about the company you work with, and take us on a journey from like the beginning, how that looked like in the beginning, because obviously Videa is much further along than when I even met you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. A little bit about me. I've been in dentistry for about 17 years at this point. I've done it all, from dental assisting to hygiene. I received my master's in healthcare administration in 2020. Was a director of dental hygiene for about 5 years for a small startup, and then we merged to a much larger organization, and that's where my passion for AI creeped in. I was actually tasked with deploying AI through the hygiene organization that I was running or department that I was running. And to be honest, it was at the forefront of when AI just hit the market. And so clinicians were skeptical, including myself. It was like, what is this? How is this going to help me? Is it going to change how I operate, how I work as a clinician, all the things? And I think most of the AI companies out there were just getting their footing and really understanding what it takes to implement and have clinicians adopt this kind of new technology that's hitting and
Yeah.
emerging in the market, right? And so it didn't go so well. And so we tasked it internally to do it differently. We knew our organization, we knew our people, we knew our change management processes. We knew how to really tackle it from a perspective of how clinicians are going to adopt this tool in a way that it doesn't feel overwhelming or outside of what their current workflows were. All of those things are so important, I think, when it comes to AI adoption. So I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But with that, I turned it around in about 6 months. And in 6 months' time, I think the organization was at like a 50% adoption rate, which is pretty significantly high in a slow ramp time frame for AI. This was early on. This was probably about 6, 7 years ago or so. And so with that, I took a lot of that knowledge and built a nice network on LinkedIn. I had some people from Videa reaching out, knowing my role and what I was doing, and just kind of asking me for free game. They didn't really blow up yet. They were right emerging,
Mm.
hitting the market and going to market. And I'm all about free game. Maria, you know that about me. Like I'm honest. I like to be open. And I think it's important to respond to people and to help people that are trying to figure out their next move or what they're doing. And so I was doing that for Videa, and very quickly it became, I think we just need you on our team. Like you have basically you have basically what we need to really build out the foundational success criteria for validations or new organizations that are signing up with Videa. And so the process was quick, to your point, the hiring process. I think within 2 weeks, I was meeting with Florian and received an offer and graciously accepted. And 3 years later, I've worn many hats. I've been a part of many new products, many amazing, I mean, historical rollouts, and just it's been absolutely inspirational. And I'm happy to be able to share some of that today. But to your point on Hire Me, the process has significantly changed, even
Yeah.
when we met. So,
Yeah. I want to know how, I'm sure you were, once you got hired, how how is that different from how you're hiring today? Are you still hiring, or do you have a team that you've built over obviously the span of all these years who's now doing the hiring? Like how is that the difference? How does that
yeah.
look like now in comparison to how it did before?
So when I was hired, it was mainly, I was probably in the midst of like employee in the range of 35 to 40, right? We're
Actually, it's
well,
much bigger than what the organizations that I currently work at. The ones
we're
I work
well
at are
past,
really startups.
yeah, for sure. Well, we're well past like over 100 people
Yeah.
at this point. But it was mainly meeting with the C-suite. Like, is this the right person to fill the role? And at the time, there wasn't really a role for me. They basically created it. And so timing is everything when it comes to getting a new job or networking in general, and just not even really looking for the next opportunity, but um, just knowing that you might have a skill set that would eventually fill a gap, right? And nowadays, I am still a part of the hiring process, especially for the customer success team. But we definitely do appoint a lot of our uh, team members to also interview and get that experience, because I think it's important for them to also have a say in who's going to be their team member, right?
Yeah.
But today, it's a much condensed process. We like to make decisions a lot quicker than we did in the past, in the sense of if it's the right person and the right fit, let's move forward versus going back and forth, or meeting too many touch points.
Yeah. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember, because I personally don't remember. I remember meeting you when I interviewed. I don't remember how many. Was there many people before you? How many people did I meet with?
Yeah, so you were met with our talent recruitment, and then it got passed to me, and I was kind of honest in saying, like, I don't really wanna waste your time. This is what I'm looking for. And I think that's kind of how our relationship almost
Yes.
blossomed,
So
right?
I remember this part because someone had suggested you want to make sure you close with, so based on all of the information you have, what keeps you from hiring me today, right? Type of deal.
Mhm.
And you were really nice, but very honest, which I appreciated so much because I had interviewed pretty heavily. And that's actually how the Hire Me series came about, because I want the series to go out to people for informational purposes so that it helps them to be able to pivot the way we did. Maybe I'll give them a little extra, little, help to be able to and create awareness too of all the companies that are out there. But I remember you telling me, no, like you're perfect. Everything's great. The interview itself went great. It's just currently I am looking for, and that position was for customer success. You said, I'm only looking for specific customer success. And I was like completely just like so upset. I was thankful and grateful for you being able to be honest with me, but I was so like genuinely so upset because obviously like I wanted the job. And the reason why I share this, it's okay if he's barking.
I'm like trying to get him to stop.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. And the reason why I share this is because the amount of people that interview, right? And like you're generally upset. I mean, you're human. You're allowed to be upset, but I think there's like a much more a beautiful thing out there to be able to have like people like you that, you know, you're just honest, or you come back to the person and say, listen, this is not going to work. Thank you so much. This is what went great, and this is what possibly didn't go great, or you were just like not the ideal candidate I was looking for. And I know you were talking about earlier about the right time or the timing.
Mhm.
What exactly does customer success really truly mean, for anybody out there who's trying to explore different opportunities?
Yeah, so I mean, customer success is a very, very broad title because
Mhm.
it depends on, there are a lot of tech companies out there that do customer success differently. There's customer success models who, like us, only focus on product adoption. There's customer success models who focus on product adoption, but they're also intended to kind of be the account manager and cross sell and upsell, and also look for other opportunities where we have products that would expand into their business that would show value, right? So there's
Yeah.
different models of customer success, and I think what is important for your network to know, or our network,
Yeah.
for clinicians that are trying to emerge into the tech space, right, is more or less it's not always about your existing clinical experience. And for us at Videa, that's so relevant in what we do day to day. Understanding what the technology is, how it works, and how it fits into your everyday workflows is part of what my expertise of my team is. But outside of that, without relevant tech experience and understanding how the technology is built, how it's supported, what the back end looks like, how the setup actually works, all of that is just as important as the clinical side of it now, where we are in the business. And so I think, there's so many relevant skills that clinicians have that would immediately transfer to what we do today. But there's
Right.
also the other side of the business that I don't think everyone fully wraps their head around if you've never been in tech before, or you've never worked for a tech company, that I had to learn self-hand.
Yeah.
That comes into it. And so part of the process that we go through is me selfishly wanting to give everyone I meet who's a clinician these opportunities, but also on the other side of it, I have to do what's best for the team that I have right now and filling gaps that maybe other team members don't have. And so that's kind of what I play with on the day to day when I'm hiring for a new role, or looking for a candidate for clinical success, right? Is that component. And it depends on the timing of the business. Like sometimes my team actually has the technical chops and they need someone more clinical mindset with that experience. And so I don't have to lean as heavily into someone with customer success or tech experience. It's also related to the bandwidth I have or my team has to be able to support an onboarding experience that gets them up to speed quick enough to be able to support our customers, and support them well, right? So there's a lot that goes into that. I hope that answered your question a little bit.
I love this because I haven't had anyone yet explain specifically customer success and why it's important, and all it being around the timing, right? If I would have landed that job, obviously, like my whole work would have looked completely different. I would have been solely on customer success, right?
Mhm.
And I'm grateful it didn't work out the way it did, because, or I should say, I'm grateful it worked out the way it did, and it was meant to be that way. We're obviously like still friends, and I every time you have success, I'm like the first one to root for you, and your company. But I'm so grateful that I was given the opportunity in another company to do a little bit more of the product development, demos, customer success. So it was like a completely different angle. And I don't think I would have been able to, because it was definitely an early startup.
Yep.
I would, it kind of like when you started Videa, it was kind of like like that. So I was able to really fully ramp the automated perio charting that they had and really like help develop it. It was a lot of fun. So I'm very grateful for those opportunities. So by any means,
I
buddy.
apologize. He's gonna go absolutely nuts.
Oh, because they're close to the door. My dog does that too. No, you're fine. I have two big dogs, and if they bark, oh my
Oh,
god.
he's a little terror, so definitely a yapper.
So yeah, I'm super grateful for how it panned out. So for anybody out there who has been interviewing for a long time, just know it not always works out the way you had envisioned, but sometimes there's something better out there. You don't know for you, right? Depending on the timing. But yeah, so any tips or tricks or anything that you can help with clinicians, like maybe help with to add some tech in their background? Like what can they?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's webinars all over LinkedIn just to learn a little bit more about tech companies or technical implementations, customer success specifically, where you can get certifications or credentials that will immediately elevate you so you don't necessarily need or have the direct experience, but you at least have been through training that can resonate or transfer to exactly what we might need at the time. But also just give yourself grace. It's all about the timing of where the company is, where their team is that they're hiring for,
Yeah.
and how that sits. And so don't stop chasing the dream or that next career pivot in direction that you want to go because it's out there. um, I learned everything I know today on the ground and actually doing it. But I didn't, I wasn't looking for that opportunity. I was just being a good person and giving people free game and giving them what I've been through and my experiences. And sometimes that translates too. So that would be my advice to you all.
I love that. I really love that, especially because, out of all the places I applied, I didn't land one job that I actually applied for that was an AI company.
Yeah.
The company I ended up working with actually ended up looking for me. And I got that job. It wasn't even an application, nothing formal. Someone reached out, they saw my experience. It's exactly what they were looking for. They needed someone with perio charting, automated perio charting experience. And that's how I got picked up. So, I mean, to your point, sometimes you could be searching all you want. If the timing is not right, it's just gonna happen when it's gonna happen.
Exactly, and keep putting yourself out there, posting on LinkedIn, building your network, reaching out to clinicians that have done it like myself before. My door is always open. Please follow me on LinkedIn and definitely reach out. So,
So thank you so much, Sabrina. You're awesome. Sabrina's
thank
also
you for
pregnant,
having me.
so she's glowing.
Thank you for having me. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Yes, thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome, Maria.
Until next time.
Until then.